Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm here with KingDow. Released last month on February 12th, his latest single, Black Man, is out, and it is fantastic. King, thank you so much for being here today. How are you
Thank you
doing?
for feeling good, Austin. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah,
It's
man, of course. How are things by you? What's news?
good, man. As I told you before you started, like I work for Coca-Cola currently. That's my day job, so it was just a kind of a pain trying to get out of there. but
It's all
nah,
good. This
I'm,
is the
I'm
fun part
glad.
of the day.
It is. It is. I'm glad. Yeah. So after this, I'm gonna meditate, get my mudra hand signs going, and go eat some food until my next meeting. So
There you go. Well, obviously, I want to talk about the single. And the first thing I want to know about is that there are a ton of different genre influences going on here.
yeah,
Would you mind breaking that down a bit for me?
yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I grew up on a lot of stuff. Like I grew up on like reggae, dub, jazz, rock, like alternative, soul music, like basically everything.
Yeah.
My
And
dad's
you could really hear it all in there.
definitely, yeah, man, yeah, yeah. Between both my parents, my mom with the R&B and soul, and my dad with like everything in between. Like I grew up in a very like non-biased music household. So yeah, it definitely inspired me to just like have my ears and mind open as I went into the creative space of music. But yeah, as far as Black Man, yeah, dude, I just wanted to like just create a song that just gave people just gave people like a positive assertiveness to open their minds,
Sure.
especially now, with everything going down, this lockdown and all these people's jobs and all that stuff. I just
Oh,
wanted to
yeah.
it was basically this song was me basically saying this is how I see things because at the same time this is all happening. I don't know if you're spiritual at all, but like we had like the great conjunction last year, which is
What's
where
that?
like the great conjunction happened on December 21st, which is where Jupiter and Saturn are coming to meet each other, and it's been like I don't know how long, a really long time, 300 years, 1,000 years
Oh,
since
wow.
they ever were last joined together. So with that meaning, Saturn, which represents restricting and just like holding down creative passion, Jupiter represents expansion. So basically, Jupiter eclipses Saturn and takes its energy, and now we're in a time of knowledge, a time of expansion, and time of awareness. So with all this going on and people being stuck inside and like finally being able to like you don't have to worry about work or anything, so you're finally having time to like really figure out who you are as a person. People's consciousnesses are being raised, and spiritual awareness is happening. It happened to me because before
Yeah,
this, I mean,
yeah.
my dad, he's very spiritual. I come from a spiritual family, and I always knew about it, that stuff. I mean, like since my first song till up until now, like I've always
Mhm.
like put spiritual like metaphors in everything I did, but I wasn't really practicing it myself. I didn't meditate or anything like that. I mean, I grew up vegan, so I have that, but like, yeah, I wasn't really meditating or anything like that. So, yeah, during this lockdown, I just like I was already like listening to different spiritual YouTubers and reading stuff, and after a while, I'm like, let me just start meditating. And it happened in the fall, and then when I did that, man, like everything changed. Like all the questions I always like would ask myself and other people, like I had the answers to all of them, and I didn't
Damn.
trip about anything anymore. And
Well,
like
sounds
if
like you've gone through a lot of growth over the past year, at least.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny because, like, I mean, if you can ask anyone who's known me for a while, like, they've seen me like I've always been on the same path with my music,
Right.
but I've been growing. But like, it happened, it accelerated over the previous year.
Mhm.
It's kind of crazy. Like it's like in real time type of thing. So yeah, definitely, man. When I had that spiritual awakening, like, I wasn't scared to like really. I was always dropping spiritual new messages in my social medias and stuff, and now I'm just like
Sure.
really in the face with it, like
And that's
everything.
translating to your music, basically, right?
Exactly. It's translating. And Black Man was basically that was my way of saying this is where I am now with my form. Like I am a spiritual being having human experience as all of
Mhm.
us are. And when I say we are the ones who will save man, I'm talking about the people who have raised their consciousness, that have their spiritual awakening as well. You know.
Okay.
So yeah, man, that's the whole idea behind that. And then of course, like again, I mentioned I grew up on like reggae and stuff. So like, I don't. It's funny. I was talking to my mom and a couple of friends about this. Like, I am Jamaican, right? I'm half Jamaican. My dad's from Jamaica. He can do patois on purpose. I can't. Right? Like, I can't
Uh-huh.
fake it. but when I'm writing my music, it naturally comes out, like just the slang and everything. I'm not even trying,
Yeah.
because you can tell when people are trying to like imitate like a style that they
Oh,
may be a
very
part.
easily.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
may be
Yeah.
a part. Even people who already are of the style, they like overemphasize it, right? But
Yeah.
like for me, like I was always like trying. I call my music genre transcending, so I would always try different stuff,
It
uh,
is.
right? And so, but then with my recent music, like Black Man and an EP I have coming later in the year, I was like, whoa. I started to realize, see that I found my sound. I found my pocket with what I was doing, And I was like,
Okay.
oh, okay, so now it's like I'm not rapping anymore. I'm chanting, I'm creating
Right.
uh, I'm creating a holistic approach with everything I'm doing in the sound of the music. And so and the Jamaican influence is coming through that, because Jamaicans were the first ones to create hip hop, and essentially
Right. I mean, yeah, you
it,
can definitely hear the influence, especially in your delivery on it, but it
yeah,
doesn't sound like fake, like you're alluding to. It does
yeah.
sound very natural. It doesn't sound like it sounds like that's how you are all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's wild. It's super wild. It kind of amazed me. So I was like, okay, like this is who I am, and it's always been there. I just had to like work my way 60 plus songs to get to it, So
Hey, it
you
takes
know what I mean.
time. Everyone
You know what I mean.
arrives at a different point.
Exactly. Yeah, man. So I'm very satisfied. Now that doesn't mean like I don't stop growing. Like my music
Of course.
has what I mean. Like it keeps developing over itself, because like artists, like some artists will just do like a total flip. Others like you see their sound, like Kendrick, like he's always had
Sure.
his thing,
Hmm.
but now it's so mature to where it's like it's in a different atmosphere. It's still the same Kendrick from like Good Kid, Mad City and stuff before, but like
Sure.
now it's like it's transcended itself, and that's basically what I've done. I've transcended my third dimensional to the fifth dimensional with everything I'm doing music
Right.
wise.
But you're also not finished. You know what I mean? Take
Yeah,
where you're at right now and look back 5 years from now and then compare it to then.
definitely, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of wild. Like, yeah, like I'm kind of like waiting, like try to get to a certain like point in my career. I guess like when I'm doing music full time, and then I can look
Sure.
back at all my older stuff and be like, damn.
Exactly.
And like, because I'm already kind of doing that now,
Damn.
and like, because
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing music since I was like 7 years old, but like
Right.
being a solo artist, 2018 is when that started, so it's been 4 years. So like the
Hmm.
growth in those 4 years has just been insane, and so like that's why I don't cut my hair anymore. Like I used to have locks when I was a kid, and I cut them, but now I'm like I like to keep them now because it's showing, like, unless they get too long, I'm gonna trim them or something. But like
Sure.
it's
Sure.
you know what I mean? Like that, my hair is representing the growth, like within who I am as a person, and also with my music. So like I don't know, like certain things like that, I like to like keep tabs on for myself.
That's solid. Well, I wanted to talk about the production side of things just a little bit, just like the actual sounds. Listening over and over, it's like a mix of being underwater, but also like in outer space at the same. I don't know. That's kind of like the immediate impression I got. What's going on here? How did you put it together? I suppose.
Nah, thank you for that description. Yeah, shout out to my guy Jonathan Bumpus. So he's the producer. He's one of my producers.
Yeah, I was gonna
He's
ask
what.
about that too. Great job.
Yeah. Shout out to him. He's out in Michigan with his wife. Shout out Caitlin. I went to college with Jonathan.
Oh,
So
nice,
I'm a jazz player. I play bass, and he's a trombone player. So we both have jazz backgrounds.
nice.
And I met him in college because we both got into jazz one. Jazz one's like, you could say, like the varsity of like varsity for like basketball or whatever, like being the top.
Hmm.
Like jazz one's the top like band in class. So
Oh, damn.
we
Okay.
we both, yeah, and we both made it as freshmen. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah, but yeah. So like our relationship started in freshman year in college and all the way to 4 years, and like I discovered he knew how to produce and he knew I freestyle. So we, between like practicing and stuff, like we would just like get together and like he'd make beats and I freestyle with him just for
Hmm.
fun. And we would always talk about, yeah, man, we need to really like make some songs, like we'd always say that,
Right.
like, right. And then like after we graduated, like he kept bringing it up, and I was like, yeah, I'm down. But I was kind of bullshitting, to be honest, because because in my heart I knew I wanted to do it, but
Right.
I was just so sketched, because it's like I've been working on this bass thing and my dance and all this stuff. But
Yeah.
uh, and shout out to him, he got it out of me. Like he's like, I'm gonna make a beat and get to you. I'm like, all right. In back of my mind, like he's too busy because he was going to get his master's in jazz, and I was like, he won't have time. And then he just sent me a beat. 2018, I want to say it was January. So when he sent me
Okay.
this beat, and it became my first music video, my first single, and my first album called My Time. And so when I and he mixed and recorded the whole thing. So because we trade back and forth. I was recording on my old iPhone using
There you
voice
go.
memos, and I would send it to him, and I recorded, and he sent it back to me. I was like, holy shit, that's what I sound like on record. Because like, bro, like
That's
our voices,
crazy.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I actually
Yeah,
like, side note, I've been recently just dropping spiritual TikToks where I just like put empowering messages for people. And
sure.
one of them I was saying, like, when we sing, that's our spirit. Like
It
talking is
is.
like whatever. Talking is like whatever. That's like us in this third dimensional plane. But when we're singing, that's who we truly are. So
Hmm.
like, basically, I was hearing who I truly was. You know, through the voice of music. And so ever since then, shout out to him. Ever since then, like, we've been working together. And I've had other producers, of course, that like, but yeah, Jonathan's easily one of my core people. So he put all that production together.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I got it mixed. Shout out Fibonacci Studios in Seattle, where I'm located.
Nice.
Shout out to Robert Ironman, the owner. And then the main engineer there, Lake Stovall, he's also artist. He's the one who mixed the thing. So yeah, I got it mixed
It turned
there.
out great. Have you
Yeah.
been using the same producers, the same mixers for all of your singles since 2018, or does it kind of jump around?
Yes, definitely. There's been a couple other people I've used that like I used one producer from Canada for like my first project, My Time, and then
Okay.
my other project codes. And then another engineer I worked with before I started going to Fibonacci and working with my childhood friend, shout out Crazy Mac. He's been recording most of my new music. He engineered Black Man actually too.
Oh,
Crazy
okay.
Mac. Yeah, he's the engineer. He's a really cool guy. And he actually, because he's always been, he's my longtime friend that I've known before anyone, and so
Mhm.
like he was always like a big supporter of mine. We'd always like see each other at least once a year type shit. And then recently he offered to engineer for me because like the engineer I was working with, like, he was kind of falling off. Like, he just didn't have the passion. His communication was crap, but he cool guy. Shout out Red
That's a
Fella.
tough thing. You can be technically skilled, but if you don't want to put your heart into it, then it looks bad on you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah.
And I'm the kind of guy, I'm just like, we got just keep going. So like everyone around
Sure.
me needs to be that way. So
Right.
Malcolm, my childhood friend, Crazy Mac, he came at the right time when he offered to like let me use his space because he's a Twitch streamer, so he has the setup, he has a
Oh.
mic,
Oh
he
yeah,
had
yeah.
everything. All he needed was a software. He got he was using not FL Studios, I can't Audacity. He got
Okay.
Audacity, and yeah, we just started recording, like, and he already knew his way around a computer, and like he's damn near, yeah, engineering all the newest shit that's been coming out recently. But
Awesome.
yeah, so shout out to him. And but yeah, going back to, I've been using the same producers since 2018 roughly. Which is Jonathan Bumpus, who did this
Right.
one. Dre 808, who's done my singles like Joel, and a new one that's coming out next month called Sky. Um, Shout out to him. He's also a jazz artist. And then Top Hat Productions, who he lives in Michigan. I just met him through like a Facebook hip hop group,
Oh,
and
cool.
and we started connecting. I liked his beats, and yeah, he was a part of the early journey too, as was Dre 808. Yeah, so those three, and now recently my homie Malcolm, because he just started producing. We co-produced a song together, which is honestly my best song I've ever produced so far, or her like just make created. So
Sure, sure.
yeah, so yeah, I got four. Oh, excuse me, five producers. I'm sorry. My home guy, my homeboy, Sir Cornington, who's also my piano player. He's also
Oh
an
yeah.
engineer too and a producer. We did the EP Discards together.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We also have a side band called Dysfunction. Um, but yeah, yeah. So those five or six, right? Michael Henning,
I think we're
Crazy
five.
Mac, Top Hat, Dre 808, John. Yeah, five. So five producers that I always use. And recently I wrote down all my team members because like I feel like through these 4 years, it was trial and error to see who was sticking around, whose art did I like the most.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I came to like, okay, it's always been Jonathan. It's always been my childhood friend,
Hmm.
those producers. My videographer, shout out Zach Purnell, who I also went to high school with. And then two cover artists who have stuck around. Shout out Yahara, who's in Arizona. She did the cover art for Black Man.
Oh,
Shout out to her.
that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah,
And then,
that's the tough part is, it's like you
yeah,
have all these close personal people to you, but if they're slacking, then they can't stick around because
right.
it's
Yeah.
up to you. But it sounds like you have a solid team overall.
Yeah. It's funny because like, the ones that they're always there were always there, and the newer ones who proved themselves, they stuck
Mhm.
around. And there was a couple others around that I would try. mostly because I'm like, okay, this person's cheaper. This one's, I guess, not as good quality, but I know like I can, like. But
Sure.
then as I start to invest more myself, I'm like, fuck all that. Like the money's gonna come and everything. Like I need everything. Like I'm a top notch thinker, so everything I gotta do is
Yeah.
top notch. So I stop using cheap videographers. I start only using my videographer, who I've always used Zach, but only him. And then Yahira, I'm into anime and she is into anime too. So,
Mhm.
and this is what I always say is like when you're picking your teammates, pick who you would want to be if you were a videographer. So like if you're
Yeah.
shooting your own stuff, what would you look like? Or who would be your cover artist? And I'm like, okay, your hair is me if I was making cover art for myself.
Exactly.
Or Carly, shout out Carly, my other person. I like her because like she's me, she's always thinking newer ideas and like being proactive, and she's not afraid to try new things. And that's
Right.
why yeah, so like yeah, recently bro, I just wrote down the teammates, and it feels good to know who everyone is, and that's the family. And those are the only people outside of like a couple friends that aren't into music. Like, those are the only people I really waste my time talking to every day.
Right.
So yeah,
So how do you work on songs specifically? Do you work on one at a time or are you working in batches?
it depends on my mood, honestly. Some
Okay.
days, yeah, some days like let's say like I have no songs that need to be mixed, because recently what I've been doing when I have songs that just need to be mixed down, I chill out because it's like okay, I wrote a lot. I
Right.
wrote a song or five, however long, and I'm like okay, now that I have songs that need to be mixed. Whenever I choose to go to the studio, now I just focus on the business aspect. But as
Right.
far as when I'm writing songs, like I need to hear the beat first. I know there's
Sure.
artists out there that can write stuff and then choose a beat. The beat is the music, because I'm a musician first. I'm a bass player,
Sure.
so I understand the music lays the foundation of the story. Like let's say like you're writing a book or a movie, the music is the landscape, right?
Right.
And then you writing the song, that's you create walking through and creating the scenes, creating the drama in the
Mhm.
landscape. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I write my songs. But yeah, some days it's like one or two, other days it's five. It just depends on my mood. I always like if I don't have any songs that need to be mixed, like let's say, then I'm like, okay, I need to have at least one song for this week, at least one.
Sure.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, do you put yourself on a strict schedule or is it whenever you feel the inspiration to create?
yeah. Some days I like I teeter totter. Some days I'm on a strict schedule, but mostly it's when I feel the inspiration, and
Yeah.
usually it's
You don't
like
want to force it.
exactly,
Yeah.
because you have to live life. I think what artists get misconstrued, and this is something I learned listening to other people, like shout out Ryan Curvio, he's a Seattle artist who lives in LA, and other people that have said this. Um, you have to go live your life. You can't just like sit at home and just like grind like crazy and
Yeah.
write, because it's like we're artists. We portray what life is. So it's like if you're
Right.
just inside all the time, you're not really getting any inspiration. So you have to go talk to people. You have to
Exactly.
go on dates. You have to, not get in drama, but like shit happens. You have to go experience life, and then you can bring that back to the music.
Right. Yeah, if you're
So
looking at the same four walls all day, your
exactly,
music is just going to be dull after a while.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that's what I learned. Yeah, I just like I try to, even if I'm not going out all the time, I just try to go outside or do something that's
Yeah.
I sometimes music related, sometimes not. Whether that's reading or creating other content, so I can bring that. Like actually, the last couple of days, I was listening to one of my favorite spiritual teachers, YouTubers, Ralph Smart, and he was talking about mudras. Mudras are basically spiritual Hindu Buddhist hand signs that help raise your energy, your chakra,
Okay.
right? And so I'm like, let me just actually figure out what these are, because I'm into Naruto, and it's for those who are into anime, it's all about ninjas, hand signs, and all that shit.
Sure.
So right, so I started going down the mudra rabbit hole, and like all these like elements and all these things, and uh, a couple of them I really got into because I'm like, oh, this one's for healing, and so I could feel it actually happening when I would do it in my meditation, and all this different cool stuff. And so now I'm gonna start writing a song about mudras, because like
Mhm.
I decided to like do something, step aside from like my regular schedule, and just
Yeah.
like learn something new, gain new knowledge,
Well, yeah,
So
that's your inspiration. So might as well make something of it.
exactly, yeah. So I encourage artists to always learn something new, and just like yeah, enjoy your life and bring that
Totally.
to your music.
And that kind of brings me to my next question. So I'm glad that you brought that up. Not necessarily on this single, but in the grand scheme of everything that you're making, what are you trying to accomplish overall? Like, what's the message you're trying to get out?
Yeah, I want people to think for themselves, honestly, man,
Hmm.
because like we've been trained to like take in information that we didn't create ourselves since birth. You know,
Right.
we've been trained to like watch the media, take everything that the news says, the teacher says, everyone says but ourselves. You know, so I
Yeah,
just want people,
for real.
so I just want people to go back to and like figure out who they are, what they want, what they believe, and not worry about what other people think. Because yes, you're gonna lose people who may think, oh, you're weird or you're changing, but that's a good thing
Yeah.
because people, a lot of people intentionally or unintentionally are kind of suffocating our growth. And so to find your real tribe, you have
Yeah.
to like let all that go and just be who you need to be for yourself. So yeah, I want people to just like think for themselves and not be afraid to like, speak their voice, even if it shakes. And also, yeah, just getting inspiration, and do what I can to change the world. Like there'll be times like, bro, I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie, and this is something people like who think people who are into spiritual stuff. Oh, you're nice all the time. You can't be this way. I'm like, I get annoyed. People piss me off. I
Oh,
like
that's
I love.
inevitable. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love people, but sometimes I'm like, y'all are so stupid. Like,
Well, I
but
think it's a stereotype of people thinking that spiritual people are just like all zened out and like let life pass them by.
nah,
When it's just like,
nah.
no, like I'm still a person with emotions and feelings here.
Facts, bro. Exactly. People think like, oh, King, you're so chill. I'm like, nah, man. I get
No.
annoyed, and like, I'm
Yeah,
good
who
at
does
like,
it?
I'm good at like, just like not hiding it, but like keeping it chill. But
Yeah.
like, but at the end of the day, yeah, I feel the same stuff everyone else does. So I just want,
Right.
yeah, people to, yeah, just not hold people who like are enlightened or whatever on a pedestal, but realize like they're people too and treat them as such. And also I just want to, just live off my music and like teach other people how they can live off their own passions, whatever that is, to make it
Right.
work for them. You know what I mean? I love doing that. I love like giving an opportunity to people, whether it's in my team or friends or family, and just watching them like get a new neuron and be like, oh shit, this is something I could try. I love doing that, So like,
There you
and
go.
I've taught like jazz and English, so I'm a natural teacher already. So yeah, I just love to
Yeah.
just to give help people that way.
I mean, I think just being involved in jazz almost forces you to expand your mind. Because
Oh,
isn't jazz all about expanding a normal sound? And it's just like, especially when you're jamming and stuff like that, it's like it's not supposed to stay in this box. Someone's going this way and you go this way and then you meet in the middle. And I feel like that could transfer over to your thinkings as well.
dude, you're 100% right. Jazz is all about, because jazz is what I love about jazz is like, yes, there's rules, but it's all about how you can break them and make and create something new out of
Right.
them. And
They're
yeah,
very loose
exactly.
rules.
Super loose rules. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you have a lead sheet, but look at all these skills
Right.
and things we could do with it. Yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. And just like the self-expression, and when you get together with someone, they have an idea, you have an idea, and it keeps building. Yeah, man, jazz is endless, and that's what life is. Life is jazz,
Right.
like
Damn. You should
jazz
get that
artists.
tattooed. Life
I
is jazz. That's so
shit, I might have to, bro.
funny.
Not facts. You might be right. Shit, I haven't yet to
That's
see that. So
that's
I might have to do that.
hilarious.
It's real
Wow.
shit. It's real shit, bro. Life is definitely jazz because you
Life is
like the
jazz.
possibilities are endless. People think there's only one linear way. No, like time is endless. Chronos. So yeah, dude, it's deep, man. It's deep shit.
Wow.
I love having the third eye open. Everyone needs to meditate and open their third eye. Trust me. Like it sounds scary, but nah, dude.
It's
It's like
I mean, for some it is. For some,
yeah,
there's just like another day, but yeah, we could go down that road, but I do want
yeah,
to hear about some other stuff from you.
for sure.
So it looks like this is your second single to be released this year. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean
I mean,
technically,
I
yeah.
guess
So
officially released.
yeah, my first solo single this year. You're right, because
Right.
I did like a three-way song with shout out Sari and E Brown, a couple of my good artist friends. We dropped Expensive in January.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a lot of planning going into that. Like created like an expensive challenge for people to win prizes and stuff. Uh, yeah, so that was the first single technically that came out, and then and that was cool because that was basically us just like with everything going on with the pandemic, we're like, let's create something that's lighthearted and fun and
Yeah.
make people feel good, but at the same time, not I don't want to say political statement, but we're basically saying like, look at all these three different people because like Sari Savvy, he's gay, but he's a pop artist. E Brown, he's a rapper. He's married. Me, I'm a single black Jamaican dude, whatever. So like three different people from three different walks of life coming together to create something beautiful,
Right.
and that's what we wanted to show. Because with all this division, all this racism, all this stuff people have going on, we're like, hey, it doesn't matter what your color, creed, whatever. You can still come together and create something beautiful. So
Yeah.
that's how we started off the year, and then I came in with Black Man because I'm like, all right, Black History Month. That Black Man was actually supposed to be released in March, but then I got this opportunity with KXP to put it on their website. KXP is a
Awesome.
big, like
Oh yeah, dude.
yeah. So
I mean,
yeah,
Seattle based, right?
Seattle based, yeah,
Watch
Seattle
all their
based platform.
videos.
Yeah, really, really, really awesome platform
Hmm.
for upcoming artists. So I was like, okay, this makes more sense. And the title Black Man, I only named the song. It has nothing to do with being black. That's one thing I want people to know about me is like, I don't care about color. I think we're all spiritual beings. Like, I consider myself a black elf god, alchemist. Like, oh, that's who all of us are. You
Right.
know, like all this color thing is a social construct. So, but the song was actually going to be named 333 because the original record, not the music video, the record is 3 minutes 33 seconds. So I was gonna be named
Oh, that's cool.
333. Right. So, but I decided to go Blackman because the hook I came up with, I'm like, it's a catchy hook, and I keep saying. Usually, when I make my titles, it's based off the hook. Usually,
Okay.
sometimes it's rare, but yeah. So that's why I named it Blackman. But Black Man can still circumference everything because if we go through history, all life started in Africa, so we're all black. You know what I mean? So
It's true.
you
These
know
are
what I mean?
facts.
Yeah, yeah.
So, not to move on from the single, but it sounds like you had more in the works for the rest of the year.
Yeah, so this year's awesome. It's I'm kind of like running an experiment for myself because in the past I would like
Right.
in early time I would drop a single every week, and then I went away from that and like dropped when I felt like it. And then last year I was like, I'm gonna drop something every month. And
Sure.
then going into this year, I was like, I want to like really plan things out. So I started writing like a 3-year plan. So currently, I took all these records I recorded, start putting them in months, and what I'm doing is like, and artists do this too. Give yourself at least a month to work to promote, and then the next month is when the song is out, but you're still promoting. So that's what I basically
Right.
did. Every other month is there's going to be a single. So
Gotcha.
you know what I mean? So March was all about promoting Black Man with like the interviews and the TikToks and all the different stuff I would do and ads and all that stuff. And going into next month, I'm going to start promoting Sky, which is the next single, um, which is kind of switching the energy. I like to do that. I don't like to stay in like
Sure.
this dark anger mode all the time. I like to switch it. Now we're in spring. Now let's go back
Yeah.
into a lovely setting.
I like
Um,
that.
yeah, so Sky is dropping in May, and then the next month is going to be the promotion for one of the singles off my project, Spiritual Eyes, that's dropping September 1st.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then after that's going to be promo for another single, and then that. So yeah, basically, I've just been running my months like here a month there's a single, the next month promo for the next single, and so on and so forth. So every other month there will be a single, and
Got it.
yeah, just to see how that works, and probably gonna keep doing that because it's awesome for me and my team. So like I don't feel rushed, and I have time to like
Sure.
create ads, do interviews, come up with cool content ideas,
Yeah, these
as well
things
as
take
my
time. It's not
it
just
do-
about the music anymore.
it isn't, dude. It really isn't. Like I, as much as I wish it was, and
Right.
I wish I was like, damn, I wish I grew up in the '70s because that's all it was. But it's a
For real.
beautiful, right? But it's a beautiful time because now artists like you get to show different sides of yourself. People want to invest in the person; they don't want to invest in the music anymore, which
It's
I think
true.
is more important. Because
Well, yeah,
before,
they want to
you
follow
know,
your journey as a person.
yeah,
And that's, yeah, you're making them fans of you. And it almost feels like the music comes secondary at some points. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's tough. It's like as much as you are a musician and an artist, you're also a businessman at the same time. As
facts.
an independent artist, like there's, no hiring company. I mean, you can if you got tons and tons of money, but going that label route and doing this and that, things get complicated and everyone wants their piece.
Hmm.
So if you're able to do it and you can find the time, then all the power to you.
Definitely, man. I think it's definitely a time for artists to be empowered and learn things that our predecessors didn't learn because
Yeah,
they got blackballed at every turn. Like,
right.
like it's created more work, yes, but now you know what's going on. You know how to own your
Y-
masters,
I was gonna say, yeah, you got to own your music because that's the
Yeah,
biggest thing. We hear it like every week. Someone's in a lawsuit over their files.
facts. Exactly.
So
So now it's like, and this also is a good time to see, okay, who's really gonna like take that time to really like figure out who they are and take the time to build that foundation versus people who are like, nah, I'm gonna still get with the label. And there's nothing wrong with getting with the label,
right,
but do it smart and like really understand the contracts, you really understand what you're
yeah,
getting into, what you're signing up for. Like me personally, I don't have a problem with labels, but I have too many like awesome examples of why I want to stay independent. Like that's always been my goal. Like
yeah,
Russ and these different artists. Like, I love being independent. I love being the promoter. I love because I'm not just like a.
hmm,
What people don't realize as artists nowadays is like you got the music, but like when you put yourself on social media, that's also your Instagram is art. Your Facebook is art.
oh,
You
yeah,
know, your ads are art. Everything is
true.
art into the whole
Everyone's
world.
judging at all times.
Exactly. So it's like you have to be like it's not just you have to wear multiple hats
Yeah,
and love that. Because if you're really about this, because yeah, I didn't come into this for the social media part, but the fact that it changed my career so much, I'm like, like why I can't help but pay homage. You know what I mean?
well, yeah, you have
So
to. Yeah, but kind of staying on that, the whole label thing is like they're going to throw producers at you and they're going to throw engineers and this and that, and it could ultimately change your sound. But at the same time, you've got your team assembled for the most part, or people that you want to stick with.
right,
So staying the route that you're on right now until things get, take the next level and get more serious. It sounds like you're comfortable where you're at.
I'm super comfortable, bro. Like
Yeah.
honestly, like I'm like, cause like I'm all about as a tourist, I'm all about loyalty
Yeah.
and like I'm very family oriented. Like so, it's like I've had the same couple friends since I was a kid. You know what I mean? And so like
Same.
with that,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So with that kind of mindset, like everyone around me, I have to like trust 100%.
Right.
Like it's
That's
like
the biggest thing.
you know what I mean? Like
Don't
I
want
gotta
to
be able to.
screw you over.
I gotta be able to call you, and be like, bro, this girl broke my heart, or whatever. Like you got, you're a family member now, type. It's not
Right.
just about the music for me anymore. So that's why I move with it. Like I'm not opposed to like working with other people, but like at the end of
Well,
the day, like
yeah.
you know what I mean? Because this world's all about networking. But at the same time, I don't have to make a record with you to like for us to work. Like we can do. There's a lot of other shit we can do besides music.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but yeah, as far as my main team, man, like these are the people who helped me get to where I wouldn't be where I am without the team that's helped me. You
Right.
know what I mean? From the cover artists to the producers, the engineers. So it's like, why wouldn't I keep building with them? This is my label. This is the King. You're looking at the KingDow label, you know.
That's
So
great.
yeah, bro. So that's how I am with it, man. And I just think, yeah, I encourage all artists just to at least start off and like create your own foundation for yourself, your own team, figure out who you are, and really see, okay, now that I'm super comfortable, do I want to go the labor route or do I just want to stay independent? Because like you've gained more knowledge, and you're always going to
Yeah.
keep learning. You know what I mean? So
It's true, man. Well, I've only got a couple more for you, but
yeah,
and I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do want to
no worries,
know,
man.
what do you enjoy the most about being an artist and a creative?
I just love the how I can just like it's given me a platform to express myself and to find and
Right.
help people find me because
Yeah.
like we both think the same, we're both like my and to help people like anytime I feel like I'm annoyed with anything, like I just like when people send me messages or just like show how like what I've done has helped them, that's all that means everything to me. Like I don't need a blue check, I don't need the money. Just when someone tells me like your music helped me with this or like like what you said or your energy, just anything about me and my artistry changing anyone's life. It could be 1 to 100. Like that means the world because
That's
I just want to,
awesome.
you know what I mean? I just want to help like artists. We're supposed to be the people that like we're also healers, you know?
Right.
So
You're the person that people go to as an outlet for when they're not feeling great. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Some people go to movies, they go to TV shows to escape, but especially now, just being inside all the time, you get sick of watching the same TV shows and movies, and you escape with your headphones or you go on a walk, and it's like you could be that person.
Yeah, definitely, man. So
So,
like, yeah, that's what I love about it. I also love that like, especially in this day and age where like being independent is
oh,
the main gig. Like, I love how much it's empowered me and like given me like different avenues and different and made the possibilities endless to like grow my business and
right.
grow. what I'm doing. Um, because honestly, I can't see myself doing anything else, bro. Like if it wasn't music, I wouldn't say I kill myself, but I'd probably go into Tibet, just leave this realm somehow. You know what I mean?
I get it, man. When you've dedicated so much time to it, it feels like
Yeah,
it's the only path. And if it makes you
it's
happy, then like shit, dude, just keep going. Like you never know. You
facts,
hear about
bro.
all these stories of like, oh, this person didn't release their first record until they were 40 something and then hit it big. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it's just like while it may not happen a year or 5 years or 10 years from now, it doesn't mean that you're not having fun along the way.
Exactly. It's about the journey and just to
Right.
keep going. Because like if you're worried about like not making or you don't like these people in the industry, like
Yeah.
you didn't come into this for the right reasons. Like there's people
Right.
like different people who's done interviews that say like how they quit music and why. And I'm like, I get it, but like that just shows me like it wasn't about the music for you. It's been about the music for me since I was a kid trying to get out the crib
Yeah.
and jam with my dad, you know?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's
You
like
built your
it's
roots there, and that's
e-
that.
exactly. So no one can't tell me otherwise. Then at the same time, I'm someone's superhero. I got like, like teachers and like older people older than me and kids that like watch my every move. So it's like I gotta do it for them. I'm not doing it for the haters or
Yeah,
whoever. Well,
man.
haters are just confused lovers, but
Of course.
you know what I mean.
Of course.
So yeah, man. I love everything about being an artist, and all of us are artists. On it, I mean, you're artists like creating a platform and you're helping other artists to like get their stuff out there. From
Totally.
the person who gives your mail. Like everyone is an artist in their own right. So like it's
Right.
just
Yeah.
about like
My
the only yeah,
instrumentation skills are just not as good as they used to be, so I went a completely different route. And
nah, for sure, bro. But nah,
yeah.
but the thing is like it worked in divine order, and now like you're still at the end you're still part of the music is what I'm saying, no matter what.
Yeah.
so
I
so
believe
yeah.
that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I think the difference as far as like artists who understand their artists and artists who are in amnesia is
Yeah.
that like artists who are conscious about it, like they're painting with conviction, and then other artists they're just painting aimlessly, meaning they're just wandering through life until they realize, oh, I'm an artist too. Let me create something. We're all
Right.
creators. So
That's true, man.
yeah, man.
So what are some non-musical goals that you've set for yourself this year?
Non-musical goals. Damn,
And
that's a
normally
good one.
I ask music or not, but you've told me your plan for music for for the rest of the year. So how do you plan on working on yourself for this year?
That I like that. Yeah, honestly, the non-musical goal was I kind of started last year was to meditate every day,
Hmm.
take spirituality seriously, be a so like and take my health seriously. Uh, so like just trying to be I mean, and I always mess up, like I grew up
That's
vegan,
gonna
yes, but
happen, man.
you know what I mean. But I like black licorice and candy, certain things. It's like, but I
Is
do brush
that
my teeth
not
twice a day.
vegan?
Uh,
Black licorice?
my sister would argue. I just use that as a reference of like eating health, not because it's candy
Okay,
or
okay.
like. And yeah, sometimes I'll eat meat when I go out, but I do when I shop for myself. Like I naturally kind of like it's weird, kind of like when I was telling you how I naturally just have like the Jamaican accent when I'm making music.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
naturally shop vegan without thinking about it because like I grew
yeah.
up trying meat and other stuff, but like it's not like oh I need eggs. I just like I'm gonna get this tofu. It's natural how I
Yeah.
move. So like I'm living my life, like someone on a higher state. But yeah, to continue taking care of my health, um, growth. Oh, have multiple streams of income. It doesn't have to be music, but just something that helps fuel it.
Yeah, man.
Uh, let's see what
Seattle's not
else.
cheap.
It isn't, bro. It isn't. Right now I have two: Instacart, Coca-Cola, and music. So I guess that's three.
Yeah.
And then I'm launching my Patreon, which
Hell
I
yeah,
guess
there
is
you go.
yeah. So I got that, and that's gonna like have other stuff in it too, not just music related, like just videos on people's and self
Right.
help stuff like that. That's a big goal actually, and
Nice.
yeah, just really really being hyper focused on my finances. I started my LLC and just been really really focused on like how I'm spending, uh and just keep reading and hopefully to read once a day. It's been hard because I'm so busy all the time,
Yeah, dude, it
and
never stops. It never
it,
stops.
it never stops. It's crazy. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I can read or I can like work on this thing for my music or go
Right.
do this thing or whatever. So yeah, stuff like that. And then yeah, man, Yeah, I guess that's it. Oh,
Sweet.
and I guess at some point, hopefully, to move out. I don't know if it'll happen this year, but
That's all right, man.
maybe the
Take your
next one.
time.
Exactly. That's where I'm just enjoying. This is the kingdom until we get a new palace type shit.
There
So
you go. All
yeah,
right, last thing for you. What message would you like to pass off to the first time listener of your music?
yeah. If you feel you are ready to, just like expand and open your mind, not as far as music goes, but just some like new perspectives and gaining clarity of
Hmm.
yourself, now is the time to listen to my music, because I'm basically you, like just helping you get to the higher you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've convinced me. I'm in.
I
Now
appreciate you,
it's
bro.
everyone else.
I appreciate you, Austin. Yeah, man. And definitely I'll
Yeah,
definitely
dude.
be back on here, and so we can talk about the EP and all the other stuff coming. So
Sweet,
yeah,
man. I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, I just want to wrap things up. I think thank you for taking the time out of your day.
of
Learning about
course.
your life and your music has been great. And I really can't wait to hear what else you come out with in the coming months and years.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you for everything you and your team do here. And yeah,
Absolutely.
excited to be back here again.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to say goodbye and I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Yeah,
Have a
you
good
too, man.
dinner.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank
Yeah,
you.
man. I'll see you.
I'll see you.
Bye.